I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I'm trying to make this here. Excuse me. I'm just sitting here trying to get away from the fumes a little bit. Um, I uploaded a video earlier this morning and about me having the breakfast down here that I go to each morning at coffee and milk and cereal and waffle, which I don't eat, but juice and coffee and eggs. They're not real eggs, but they have protein. Anyway, that's about the only pleasure I've had is going down there. I've talked about ongoing, deliberate, running me from place to place. I can pay the rent for a month and be gone in a couple of days and no refunds. And then weekly, I got wise to it. So when I had money, I'd pay weekly and might stay 2 days, and the same thing happened. If you ever saw this played out, it is the most horrible, and how many people have become a party to it. But this morning I was talking and I got emotional. I know I still care for people. But then I went back to bed. I was so sick all night long, and they're killing me. The police came out here and asked that somebody called them. Were they? What did he say? Were they hurting me? Well, they're killing me. It's just the way they're doing it. I knew not to say anything to the police, so I didn't. Uh, because there's no way to tell all of this. I'm better off. They know what's going on. So, to tell them, yes, they do know what's going on. So I'm sitting in here because they've moved me around, and they took the room at 103 up there that was really the better one till they started making it so bad with fumes. And use your imagination. There's different ways. It's just that this has worked. They've gotten away with it. And for me to call the health department's a joke. I've done that in the past. In the past, they don't do anything. It's shut down as far as me getting any help at all. Social services, anything. I get just a little bit there to eat. They kept it on $16 a month. It didn't matter what happened. And then they dropped it to 15. What an insult. When there's people all around here getting rent paid, food stamps, children on WIC, etc. Anyway, this is what I want to say. They've made me so sick I'm allergic to chemicals. And besides that, the air conditioned heating is so full of mold and mildew. And there's no place else to go here in Roanoke. So when I leave, and I'm going to have to or I'm dead, I know that. I got to get on a Greyhound bus if I can, or maybe Amtrak if I can make it down there. I lose the things I've put together here that the people over the last month have donated to me, have given off of YouTube. Nobody else. No, it's come off from the few people on YouTube or Facebook, or actually YouTube. So I'd lose those. It means a lot to me because I haven't had them. So I've hesitated to up and leave. My thoughts were to try to hang in till the end of the month, and then whatever happens, happens. I don't know. Anyway, my hearing again. This is the room that I was in, and I've run the gamut here. Where my eardrum burst in last of December, very last of December after Christmas last year, from bacterial, a viral, which is bad. It can affect your body, and it has. It never got cured. Let me put it that way. So the thing that's really getting to me too is. Combined with the people who are living here now, um, they are workers, and they don't have a way to cook except the microwave, and the fridge is real small. But anyway, they cook a lot, grill out, which is murder to me. Especially when you have to see how this is made. It's made in you come in and the it goes around U shape, and I'm on this side next to the pool, and where a lot of people on that side and where it takes a curve are grilling, more than one or two or three. So I've become so sick from it. I can't take the fuel that's put on it to burn it consistently, the grill. And there's quite a few. There's even some on the second floor that have grills, I noticed. So it's really mind-boggling, and it's, to me, it's just killing me. It's unreal. And I think someone suggested, and she might have meant well, but I have done all the things that I can do. I didn't break the law. I've done everything in the book. I've run to the forest to get away from it, and now I know there's no going back there other than it's winter. That's one point, but there's other reasons. Anyway, I'm dying. If there's no doubt about it. It's gotten to my immune system. It's so weak, and that's it. So I'm putting this up because it's so hard to listen to the news. I just turned it on, CNN, and they're telling about the CIA is saying that the Saudi Prince, that he's one responsible for the death of the journalist that worked for the Washington Post. He's living here in the United States, but he's not from here. So now then the press has took it upon themselves, which has never mentioned me, and the crimes ongoing done to me, and about the mind control murders that everyone should know about, but evidently the Illuminati that kidnap me, that control your press, have to be the ones that tell you before you believe it. Or at least most people are like that. So, I don't know if I live to get out of here and have my hearing or anything. I mean, this affects my legs and the veins. There's a certain smell associated with coolants in the air conditioning, and this is deliberately done. I don't react. I get away from here. I get out in the I can't ride buses anymore. Can't get on them. But what I'm saying is, my life shouldn't have been like this. This is deliberately done. And anyway, they're going to, I think they said something about bringing the Crown Prince over here to stand trial of India, not India, Saudi Arabia. I'm so sick, I can't even hear my own self hardly. But and there, because he was supposedly had direct knowledge in doing the murder of this man. Now then, last night I heard on radio and TV where Julian Assange was under. They found that he's under seal. The United States has indicted him. It's under seal, and he is an Aussie, an Australian, part of the British Empire, and they've been invaded by all the migrants too. So what has happened, they've created the wars using Great Britain, making them look like their allies. They took out my father, who wouldn't go along with them, the Illuminati, your global government. Took down my mom, and kidnapped me, and what they've done to my children is so horrific. Horror. I don't know what that is going on out there. Anyway, I'm going to finish this if I can. I don't know what's going on out there. Anyway, I'm so sick and I can't even hear hardly. I don't know what it is. Maybe I should go out there and see. I went off. what that was. It's odd how people hate me for telling the truth what they're doing to me. I walk out the door here now and it's hard to look at anyone. There's other things I'd like to say, but I won't. So anyway, Julian Assange is under seal that he's been indicted. The United States is indicting Julian Assange for telling the truth, WikiLeaks. I emailed Julian Assange years ago, and a couple times a couple years ago, and he contacted me back, and it's you tell the truth, and about the wrong or right people, and they hate you and they go after you. So that's what's happening. This man has every right to try to save the real monarch. He's an Australian. I'm going to tell you this: he should be prime minister. I no pun on the Australian prime minister. I don't know. He's probably having a rough time himself, because once you're invaded by other people, then they can take their interests, and you're lost in the wake. That's the truth of it all. That's the reason Trump's trying to keep the immigrants or migrants out of here. But then the United States is the one that invaded, they did, the UK, and part of my own people, I know that, and helped in my kidnapping, brought me over here. But the United States is responsible for what's been done to me here and to my children, and it's horrible. And to not be able to say it is just a sign of what I've been telling, that you cannot tell them they're part of this or they did it. And last night on Coast to Coast or Ground Zero One with Clyde Lewis, they said something about, oh no, this was this morning on the news. They might have said it last night too. I think it's on CNN or one of them. CNN's the main one that they were talking about that British intelligence, I believe, is who they said was helping the United States in monitoring, and my hearing's just bad, I'm going to echo and I'm going to have to get out. And I thought, well, you're leaving the background out of all this. You don't tell about me kidnapping the monarch and what you've done to me here in this country since I was 2 years old, and to my babies when they were born, and then all through their life. And I hope they're well and alive somewhere in this world. So you delete all that. You delete taking down my father, Edward VIII, him marrying my mom, an American, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, a school teacher from Madison, Wisconsin, sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe. And he did not marry Wallace Simpson. She married a double in 1937. The same year they promoted the Illuminati that kidnapped me, took down my father, gave the monarchy to George VI. He's illegal. And thus Elizabeth is illegal. Charles is illegal. Harry and Meghan, well, excuse me, I better go back to William and Kate. But then it would be little George, who President Obama and Mrs. Michelle Obama, a couple of years ago, while he was still president, took a little rocky horse to little George, the supposedly heir, which he's not. They represent the global government, the Illuminati. When my father wouldn't follow the orders given to him by the Illuminati, they took him out. And man, did they take him out. And they made him pay a price. They kidnapped me, and they didn't expect him to have an heir, or my mom, because they were older. And they did. Surprise, surprise. So now then they brought me over here. And JFK, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, his father, was appointed ambassador to the U.S., by the U.S. to England for the specific reason of taking out my father, because he would not be bribed. And look at what they've done to him in history. Total lies. An imposter married Wallace. Elizabeth, all of them know it. They don't make history correct itself. In fact, they keep on going. I'm watching what's going on now there. Meghan and Harry, they're playing a racial card. She doesn't represent South Africa. I'm telling you the ones that tried to take down South Africa. And I'm not running for office. I am the monarch. Whether I ever get to assume that role is another, well, I am. But she's over there. Anyway, you get the picture. So where was I going here? I was talking about the Saudi prince. When you can go over there and bring him over here or bring him into court, and the U.S. press is a big part of it, and tell Obama he's got to do that. Strange, they've never bothered to tell the truth about the mind control murders, any of this. So what are you going to do, America, if you wake up one day and they're forced to tell it? And it's ugly. I'm talking about all of it. If you don't care about me, your own people have been murdered in it. And put to death. Scott Peterson would be put to death if this isn't the truth isn't told. Timothy McVeigh, I've put this up. He was had a chip put up his buttocks by the U.S. military that he had worked for, Army. So now it's a list of them, but I want to get to this too. What if I live for this to be brought into court? Are you still going to deny me if you're big enough and demand enough, you can bring the Saudi prince over here, or whether he's brought to this country or not, and put him on trial for this murder? And you've got Julian Assange. You're going to bring him. He's an Aussie. And I heard this was on NBC morning program. I almost choked. I'm so sick now I could choke on the fumes. But what the news person said, he was telling, like, it's bad Julian Assange, that he's had his home in the embassy over there, and they're really getting tired of putting up with him and feeding him and all this. So help me God, I hope there's a God, and I hope the people who have made those comments, oh God, please, and then tell about me and mine. You sorry sots. So what would you do if there's a power that's higher than what's going on? You bring the Saudi prince over here to stand trial, and then by the grace of God, you have to tell about me. Now, you've always known about me. I've gone to the press. You've known from the day you took my father down, took my mom out. You've known it all. I've gone to you, I've walked, I've been raped, I've had a letter from the FBI. I have had things done to me by you sorry sots. Don't tell me how great you are. You lied. The press is just one of the Illuminati. Well, they are. They're controlled by the Rockefellers and your United Nations right up there in New York, where Rockefeller headquarters is. That's your global government, your Henry Kissingers, etc. And I know there was something else I was going to say here. I'm so sick. I hope and pray. It's possible that the Saudi prince is somebody, the CIA, who look like they're the enemy at the moment, might come through just to show you and force it to be told that you don't mind bringing a Saudi